We are back, episode 104, live with Blake, Alexander, Charlemagne, Watson, assistant coach at ETSU.
And winner of the first ever Be.Still Golf Classic.
That's him.
That's right. Hey, look at this bad boy. I got it right here at my desk.
Oh, he was
Oh
ready.
my man,
I even cleaned it like 3 months ago.
Best dressed at the tourney and then lowest score.
Yeah, we kind of loaded up a little bit.
Yeah, so we got Blake joining us today, and if you're listening and you're like, "Who's Blake?" Well, our connection to Blake is through Point University. Were you grad assistant or assistant coach? Would be the official title.
Grad assistant for 2 years,
Okay.
21 through 23.
Awesome, with Coach Maddox Lytle, who y'all seen on the channel. I think was Maddox our first ever guest on the podcast.
Yeah,
We went down. Yeah, I was gonna say first ever.
We did it in his office.
Y'all got whoever you could get on that.
Yeah, we're just reaching and grabbing. But we're excited to have Blake on and so where Blake's at now, I'm gonna take a minute and let kind of Blake tell us where you're at now in the journey to getting to where you were, and then we just got some questions about college golf and golf in general.
Yeah, definitely. I played at Point. As soon as I graduated, I took an assistant pro job in North Georgia at Chimney Oaks Golf Club. And I was in that business for about a year and a half, and just decided that I didn't want my life to be lived on a golf course. I'd rather help people live out their dreams. And so started looking for coaching jobs and just ended up back at Point for 2 years, getting my master's and just building connections along the way. And luckily, when I played all 4 years, I had one of the best NAIA coaches, Stephen Payne, who went to Mississippi State after my senior year. And then a short time later went to Augusta as director of golf for Augusta University. And ETSU head coach up here, Jake Amos, the NCAA made a rule where I think they did away with a volunteer assistant coach, or basically, I mean, you can still have volunteer assistant coaches, but they added the option of having a second assistant. So it wasn't just one assistant and then you're done. So they actually had a paid position where you could have two under the head coach. And Jake was asking around and asked Coach Payne, and he called me probably about a year ago today. I'm pretty sure I was watching the final match of the NCAA championship when he called me, moving out of my house in West Point. So he called me, and month and a half later, I got in touch with Jake and moved up here right after. It's been great.
Living the dream. Hey, when you were at Point, you coached Cole, right? Cole Stevens?
I did, yes. He was there both years. So I graduated, and then he came the next fall. So he was at Point for 3 years.
Well, we saw the news this week, where I think it's this weekend. He's playing, and he got that exemption to play in the tournament. Which he's he's a stick in general.
Yeah, he's good. He's a little guy, but he hits golf clubs how they're supposed to be hit, like right in the middle, and it goes far when you do that.
That's what we say about Brady too. Little guy, but it's it where he's supposed to. Hits it where he's supposed to. What's been some challenges for you as far as coaching? Are you heavily involved in the recruiting process as well?
So I've recruited once. I went down to Tallahassee and recruited beginning of January, and it was awesome. Got to see a lot of good talent. The weather was miserable. It was 40 degrees and blowing and raining a little bit. I would have rather been playing, honestly. But so that was the only recruiting trip I've been on. I think I might go some places this summer. But as far as my involvement in the recruiting process, I just whenever Coach Amos goes and recruits anywhere, he's been down to Miami, he's been to Europe, I basically just do research on the field. He's had like one or two guys that he's been looking at or he was in contact with before, but just guys that he may have overlooked, or maybe their wagger isn't the best, but they really haven't played in that many tournaments where you can get wagger points. But just finding guys that are trending in the right direction, guys who are trending in the wrong direction, that sort of thing.
Are you heavily involved in like the transfer portal? Is that, I know it's huge for football and like baseball, but for golf, is it something where you're logging in, checking, or
Yeah. It so this is my first experience with it. And the portal opened for men's golf. So it opened, I think it opens a week earlier for women's golf. I could be completely wrong with that. But so I do both. I'm with the men's team and the women's team. So I've been able to kind of see both sides, learn under two head coaches. But once the men's portal opened up, that was really the first time I've seen any major changes in it, and there was a lot of people in it. And so, luckily, there's been some good things said about Spike Mark, and some bad things said about Spike Mark for the new scoring app. But what they do have, which I love, and it helped me throughout the portal, was it has their adjusted stroke average on it for the year. And so that made my life a whole lot easier, even though it's not completely correct, because they adjust it for course ratings and this, that, and the other, whatever they do. But just being able to see without having to search up these guys' life stories, trying to figure out what they shot.
Yeah.
But and a lot of them, they have a general idea of what they're looking for when they go into the portal. But it's again just finding guys that have been overlooked, or maybe were really good and had a down year, didn't really get to play that much. Maybe started off the year bad and couldn't really crack the lineup that well. Even our number one, Matt, had a great year. His scoring average was like 69, and I'm pretty sure he had like 20 rounds under par in a row in the fall. He was a transfer from out in California. So there's a lot of success to be had in the portal. I'm still learning. I learn stuff every day with my job. I always have to call our compliance officer. I'm sure he's tired of me calling. Just whenever I have an idea, I call Eric. Like, hey, if I do this, or we're going to get shut down. When he says no, I do it.
We're about to do some real journalism here. 9 hours ago, so today, Coach Amos was named head coach at LSU now. So
Yep.
East Tennessee State is now men's head coach lists. So congratulations to him going to such a program like LSU. 2, what's it like around when all the guys found that out? Did everybody kind of know, or is it kind of surprise and everybody's kind of like trying to get figured out before the fall? Or what's it like in the clubhouse?
For the most part, we were all very excited. I'm very excited. The only downfall to me would be that I wasn't able to work under him longer. As of right now at ETSU, he's incredible. I don't have enough good things to say about Jake. But we somehow it got out about a week ago, and right before we left to get on the plane to go to California, he told everybody, and in a weird way, it kind of motivated us. We wanted to send him out with a win, do something that ETSU hasn't been able to do, win a national championship previously. And it just motivated us throughout the year. We had an older team. We had 2 seniors go, a junior, sophomore, and a redshirt freshman who went. So there was nobody going there that was brand new. They'd all had their at least 2 years under Jake's belt, and yeah, just I mean, and we have a bunch of dudes on our team. They're awesome. So they received the information well, got motivated, and then just when we got there, it was all business, and ended up coming 12th, which I think since 2001 that was our best finish, something like that.
That's what it says on Instagram. It says best finish since 2001,
Yep,
which is
that's
big,
right.
you think, for I mean, D1 college golf right there, 12th place out of all those teams. What was it kind of like being around, some of those programs that are so historic and stuff like that? Was it kind of like intimidating, or was it like, hey, we can do this kind of thing?
I mean, we all went into the week basically not being satisfied with anything else but a win.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's incredibly tough to do at the national championship, and especially with this course, La Costa, brand new, greens were firm, playing long. They moved tees around a little bit, but it seemed like all the holes that were downwind are the holes you didn't want to have downwind.
Mm-hmm.
2 par threes, I think 8 and 16. Neither one of them was more than 160 yards probably, and 2 of the toughest par threes. So you have that with 29 of the best teams in the country. It's a tough tournament to win, and no, we're just very proud of the guys. They fought hard, and I think we got within 3 strokes of the cut line during the final round twice, and just had some bogeys here and there coming in. But I mean, especially if we would have gotten to match play, I mean, anything can happen there, and our guys were just as prepared as all the others.
When you go to an event like that, what's the mood around? Because I know, like, if you go to a big football game or whatever, it's so much energy. But I know golf is like, it's so small because it's person by person on every shot. Is it more like a solemn thing, or is everybody just grinded mentally for it?
Uh, I mean, everybody. I mean, it was basically just like any other tournament as far as feels. I mean, these guys are so prepared. Every single tournament they go to is, I mean, they just have the same routine, same processes, and that's what makes them good. They have the same processes in practice and preparation for travel. Uh, I mean, even for our guys, I'm pretty sure they all have the same routine for packing and everything. They just have everything down to what they know will prepare themselves and their bodies the best. And when they get to a tournament, it's the same thing. The crowd was bigger. I did notice that. There was actually by the first tee, it was right by the resort and the clubhouse. And there was a bachelorette party going on in the pool by number 1 tee the first day. So you could hear the music like on 1, 2,
Oh, it was like
15, 16.
Yeah, live golf
Yeah,
event.
they actually had a DJ on the range.
Oh wow.
It felt like live for a little bit.
What I guess we wouldn't be doing our journalism duties if we didn't ask, is Coach Watson's name up there for head coach possibility?
I guess we'll see. I know our volunteer assistant, Mike Holbert, he played on tour for 20, 30 years back in the day,
Oh,
putting
wow.
one-handed. He loves ETSU, and he's been in contact with our administration. I've been in contact with our administration, and we're just taking it day by day. Really, we want to get the right guy in there, and it's so early in the process. We don't know everything for sure right now, but I'm just going, like, got back last night around 11:30 from California, and we're back at the facility this morning trying to get everything squared away, trying to be sure that whoever gets it has everything they need set up already to continue ETSU playing some good golf.
What's it like being involved in both programs, men and women? What's it like as far as seeing? I guess like PGA and LPGA. The LPGA doesn't quite get the attention, but the athletes are just as good. Is it kind of does that filter down to college golf too? Like not as much attention in the women's golf, but you still see that talent that's just as good as the men's, if not better sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I traveled and was on the course with the women more this year than the men. Uh, my actually my coaching debut was regionals with the men, so that was a nice, really calm, not stressful week. But luckily, our guys they stepped up and played great. And Yeah, the women they're I mean they're just as talented. Our women had a little bit of a down year, but every event you go to, there's going to be some studs out there,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's men or women. Um, and I mean, the biggest thing that I probably learned was how to coach men than how to coach women. Ball flights are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's shots that I would tell a guy to do that I would never expect a woman to pull off just because of spin rate, trajectory of the ball coming in. And there's shots that some of the girls on our team that I would never have one of my guys hit just because of it. They have other shots that are going to be way better that the women don't have, and the women have shots that are way better that the men don't. So I figured that out a few times this year, especially on par threes, where it's like, oh, this is cash, like this is going to be great, and it just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work out.
Yeah.
You're like,
So you
oh
have to
yeah, yeah,
know
yeah,
you have to know everybody, then everybody's game for two different totally types of games.
yeah. That's right. And I mean, there's one of our seniors on the women's team, Grace. She absolutely hammers the ball, and so she's completely different than one of our shorter women on the team. So even within the actual teams, they're completely different as well. But luckily, at point I think we had like 21 or 22 guys on the roster
Mm-hmm.
when I was there. We had 8 and 8 this year at ETSU, so I had less with two programs than just one at point.
That's
Would you
crazy.
rather have it smaller like that where you can focus, like spend more time like a smaller classroom type setting, or do you like 22 and being able to just talk different brands of golf with each guy?
I definitely I enjoy having a smaller crew. Um, you if you have 8, really works out great for tee times for qualifying. Just send them out in two foursomes and they zip around. But especially with if we wanted to have a team practice, and luckily enough, our facility we could accommodate having a 30-person team practice. But just having everybody together, uh, if I wanted to go talk to Jimmy on the other side of the range, I didn't have to walk 100 yards, something like that. But just having 8 was, I mean, I love that number now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I get a head coaching opportunity, I want to have anywhere between 8 and 10, um, just because it keeps it competitive. Uh, Everybody knows, like if you're the 8th best on the team, you only got to go up 2, 3 spots to get in the starting lineup. If you got 22 and
It's a
you're
long way up.
22nd, like you got to pass a lot of guys who are also trying to get better as well. And so just being able to have that kind of close knit community, everybody gets along great. Um, Not all the time, but it's a lot easier to fix a problem between 8 people than 30. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Traveling is great. Always having a smaller crew, but yeah, no, I definitely like having just eight to
Do
10
you,
people that are just dedicated to their craft and trying to get better at it.
do you still get to play a lot now that you're especially coaching two programs now? Do you still have time to get out there and play yourself?
So yeah, I actually do. I haven't really taken advantage of that yet. Um, like I think the first round I played this year was probably late February. I probably played 4 or 5 times this year. I could play more if I wanted to, but just especially the past couple of weeks being in postseason, just making sure that everything's ready for our guys, because it doesn't matter if I play good as much as I want to get out there and practice or go play. I just want to be sure that the men and women that I'm kind of in charge of have everything that they need first, and then I'll go out and play with I'll play with the guys if we have an odd number at qualifying or something like that. I started off the year getting 7 strokes, and I had one round. I shot like 2 or 3 under with 7 strokes, and so now I get 0. And I haven't touched that yet. And it happened. I was like, guys, I know you got to trust me on this one. I haven't seen any strokes since.
So what, as far as long-term plan for Coach Watson, what, like, head coach dream, is that kind of the goal for you? You're trying to get to that level?
It is, yeah. I'm going to want my own program one day, whether that's soon or whether that's a little bit down the road. I'd like to have as much experience as I can, especially I've been blessed here because I've been working with 2 programs, 2 different coaching types. So I'm kind of getting a little 2-in-1 right now. But yeah, having my own program, I need to make a decision sometime in the future whether I want to go the men's route or the women's route. You know, I'm just as passionate about both. Obviously, being around our guys this year, we were top 10 in the country for basically the whole fall. Had a little down period in the spring, but just been kind of pampered in that aspect, just being around just a really, really solid group of guys and golfers. So that was a lot of fun, but I mean, I had just as much fun and enjoyable memories coaching the women, being on the road with them, going to tournaments, seeing them progress through the year and get better. So yeah, definitely want my own program. Not really sure what it's going to look like yet. Sorry, I'm still battling some little airplane stuff in my throat.
No, you good. How do you think Coach Lytle's doing right now with his program?
I think he's doing good. I mean, you see with Coach Payne, really, when he took over, I think he took over like a year or 2 before I got there. And we were far worse off than most NAIA schools. And then every single year, once he got his footing, got his guys in, I mean, they just took off. And the year after I graduated, I mean, that team was insane, right?
Yeah.
They had Cole, who went to Augusta, Ruwan went to Mississippi State, Eric went to Columbus State, and now he's playing great golf in South Africa now. Ryan went to Memphis, and they all came from a small NAIA school. So
Yeah.
I believe Maddox is he's on the right track, and I think Point's going to be great here, maybe even next year. He actually called me when his first recruit that he did all by himself got to campus. He was so excited. He called me.
We agree. We think he's going to do.
He's doing great.
Yeah, we think he's doing a great job over there. He's just a great guy in general too. Maddox is.
I think the only thing that would help Maddox is if Point invested in the facilities.
I knew you were going to say it.
The course. We played in a tournament a couple of weeks ago, and it's just awful. I couldn't imagine having to recruit guys and like bring them to the home course and be like, "Here it is."
Yeah, hey, I mean they got a course and a place to practice though, like right by campus, which is great. We're lucky enough to have our facilities like a 2-minute drive away. But there's some D1 programs, some big D1 programs that you have to drive like 30, 45 minutes to get to their practice facilities. So it's definitely great. I like the layout of that course. Got 2 hole-in-ones there, so it always.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What holes?
6 and 17.
I was just about to guess 6 and 17. I feel like
Yeah.
those are the easiest to get at.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been close on 11 a few times on that front pin. Is that hole still impossible when the pin's in the back?
Oh yeah, it's just so
Yeah.
long. And then if you try to land it anywhere close, it's headed south.
I played this past weekend, and I think I missed left over there where that plastic container. I don't know what maybe it's covering like a sewer. I was over there, just like putted one slowly down the hill. It ran all the way to those, to the rough that they've got grown up. I was like, why are we doing this right now?
That little plastic thing, that wasn't always there, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they added that at some point while I was playing there. I hit it one time and I was like, where did this thing come from?
Yeah.
I had to talk to Julie, the superintendent, about it. I was like, where? She was like, it's been here. I said, no.
Being a D1 school, has NIL affected y'all any? Or any of your players or anything?
We're seeing it more and more every day. Being a mid-major, our resources are great. We're very blessed to have what we have. It's getting more relevant pretty much every single day. It seems like, I can have a conversation with someone today and it might not come up, and I'll have a conversation a little bit later with somebody from our administration, and they're saying, yeah, we're working really hard on it. We're trying to get Matt's our number one. He loves Chipotle. I remember in the fall he would go to Chipotle every single day. But if you're international, it has to be an international company. And he said he wouldn't want to do Chipotle anyway. So as far as the golf teams go, they really haven't mentioned too much about it. They just want to go play. But it's definitely, if you go to any college campus right now, it's in all the meetings. We're all trying to learn about it. Seems like a lot of stuff changes pretty frequently. So we're just trying to get a good foundation on it and learn as much as we can right now. And especially for me, because with all the other NCAA rules and regulations, I'm still learning stuff every day about that. So basically I'm back in school, right? Just learning as much as possible.
Do they have to run that? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like it's once a week I see on Twitter a new NCAA rule is passed about NIL, where whether it's availability, like how soon they can start, or what they can accept funds for. Like recently I saw for Alabama, and I know all the SEC schools do it when they come on the visit, they load up the hotel room with pictures and stuff like that, and they can't do it anymore, which is wild to me that it's not even like a direct cash benefit, but they just change it weekly.
Yeah, so you can't have like any like memorabilia, or I don't know if they did away with the snacks or not. They may have.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us. We're hoping, we're rooting for you that this fall, if we have you back on, we're talking to men's head coach, Coach Watson. But we're supporting anyway. And for y'all to finish so high, that's such an amazing job that y'all are doing the program. So appreciate you coming on, and even talking to us.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate y'all having me. I'm happy I was able to do it.
He did say he's down to be in a video.
Yeah, I am. I got a little bit of time this summer. I need to practice. We got some good grass to hit on up here, so I need to get on that.
Yeah. I'm all about a trip.
Usually I do a little work, go out, and I'll hit 10 balls. Usually not with my clubs. So maybe I'll break mine out a little bit.
Well, right now we're 0-1 against men's head coaches, so actually 0-2. So we need to change that.
I was texting with Maddox today. I was like, I remember I watched y'all's second video against him and Scott, and I watched it so long ago I couldn't remember. But I mean,
it's just Maddox.
I got a lot of pressure because I would be Maddox all the time, and now I have been practicing.
I know Maddox has our number, and it's just when he gets in that mode where he just gets competitive, and he's not our friend anymore. We don't know what to do.
No, you just gotta get his mind on something else.
Yeah,
you just gotta do it.
Well, we appreciate you, and congratulations to the team on what y'all accomplished this year, and I'm sure y'all do even better this coming year, jumping back in there. So, wait, real quick, are you rooting for Auburn tonight?
They're down 3-0 right now.
I need to pull it up.
I got it on my living room. I have
3-2.
I have a clear view down the hallway to the TV. Yeah, no.
Well, I'm a fan of what's happening right now.
Somebody's on 8 right now. Yeah, I hope Florida State gets up a little bit more, and then I hope Auburn comes back and give me something.
We saw Auburn come back yesterday, so we know we can do it.
Yeah, they're a really good team. They got a bunch of guys that play some really good golf right now.
So that's who we're rooting for tonight. I actually need to get that put up.
I'll pick Florida State then.
Oh gosh,
that's what I like.
Just to keep it even in the podcast.
That's what we need.
Well, perfect. That's great. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Blake. And everybody can go follow the team on Instagram, the men and the women's, and kind of keep up with them. We're hoping for a big fall for you guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate y'all.
We are back. That was the fabulous Blake Watson. Best hair we've had so far. We'll post this photo.
I saw that.
Mugshot for ETSU. Very nice.
Possibly the next men's head golf coach down there. We don't know. We're just reading the room right now that there's a vacancy.
There's rumblings.
Yeah. The head coach left LSU, but that's cool. So go check them out. We got them on. As we're talking right now, we have Auburn and Florida State happening, but we're going to jump into PGA picks and LPGA picks this week. Big week. Let's start with LPGA this time because this is a big week for the LPGA. This is the women's U.S. Open. Yep. And everybody knows there's a favorite in the room that somebody has already locked her down. And I was listening to No Laying Up today, and the big man, Randy, and everybody, and Tron, and I think Cody, they all picked her to win. So go ahead and say your pick, Zach. Say your pick.
We know who it is. Zach,
we're rotating on who picks.
Yeah, you have to rotate.
Yeah.
Everybody's picked her and got a dub.
Yeah.
I had her last week or 2 weeks ago, and she got first for me.
Let's see. Between us picking her, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 dubs since we've been picking her,
which is wild.
So to continue, I'm picking Nelly Korda, smoothest swing on tour.
I can guarantee you're gonna get a lot of points this week and probably a win, but I know a lot of points.
That's gonna stretch my lead.
Yeah. It was. If you haven't, everybody, I would encourage you, if you like listening to golf, the No Laying Up podcast they put out yesterday was all about Nelly pretty much in the U.S. Women's Open. Very informative about her career and kind of her coming out of her shell a little bit with the media. It was a really good episode and how they recapped everything and talked about the LPGA. So the whole episode is pretty much about LPGA. So if you need more information on that, go listen to that episode. So Nelly, Zach's got the points. I'm going with the girl that 2 weeks ago had a chance but lost it to Nelly. Give me Hannah Green. I think she's still going to be playing hot. She's got a little bit of edge on her because Nelly outlasted her this last tournament, but she's going to come out hot.
LPGA player to have multiple wins this season with Nelly, so that's a good thing as well. Yeah,
and that's a good pick. I think I'm going to at least get some good points this week.
Tron, he said on that pod this morning. I listened to it this morning. He said if he had to pick someone besides Nelly, it would be Gabby Ruffles, and that's who I'm going with.
And then Mitchell picked Ruan Yin, didn't he?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
It could be.
I just googled Yin.
He said Yin. We're just going to give him whoever.
There's Angel Yin, who's 24th in the LPGA. So,
well, whoever finishes worst, that's the Yin he's getting. Then
I wrote it. I wrote it down.
He went Yin on the post that goes out tomorrow. I typed up Ruan Yin on our pick'ems.
He won't notice.
He won't know. So, anyways, those are our picks for this week. I'm excited about it. Real quick, LPGA. A lot of people they did a cool feature where they said most surprising miscut. I love that. We're gonna start doing that segment in the future. But one of them was Charlie Hall, and if you don't know, you need to go look up her clip from this week, signing autographs, just with a cigarette hanging out of her. Yeah, just everybody saying John Daly would be so proud. But that's
a norm because I mean she just had the I don't know it just seemed like very casual for her. Yeah.
It was just kind of hanging in the lip, had a little bit of ash still on it. Like she probably could have dumped that ash without even touching it. She probably and the ash just fall off. So hey, that's a segment we're gonna start throwing in the future is the surprise missed cuts. I like the way they did that. So that's our LPGA. If you don't do anything this week, you need to watch some LPGA. It's the U.S. Women's Open. The purse, I think they said is $12 million or $10 million, and the first place gets $2 million. So that's what Nelly won her last 6 events combined. She won like 2.6, and this one tournament she could win basically that if she wins the whole thing. And did you hear? Yeah.
Are you still on the LPGA?
Well, I was going to say I was going to ask Brady about all that stuff about Lexi. Yeah. There's so much good stuff on Lexi on that podcast.
Yeah, she's
retiring.
She played in her first,
which is wild.
US Open when she was 12.
How many? The Solheim Cups. Didn't they say she played in like 18 of? Not 18 of them, but
yeah.
Oh, is it 18?
It was like 16 or 18.
Yeah, it was wild.
An extreme amount to be 29.
Yes, and they said that possibly next year, if they ask her to coach it, she'd be the youngest coach ever captain of the Solheim Cup. So, which they were kind of picking her for this week because they said a lot of pressure's off of her. She's kind of like a little redemption story.
I feel like she'll.
But nobody picked her out of our squad this week.
The broadcast arena, LPGA is growing, and
kids.
I think it's always a good thing to have a star like that people can watch. While they're watching the up and coming stars, they can fall back to a familiar face while they're watching.
Yeah.
Career earnings of $14 million.
That's crazy.
So she's not hurting anywhere.
No, she'll probably make about as much broadcasting as because how low the LPGA payouts are, the purses. She'll probably make close to the same. All right, so the men's RBC Canadian Open. We're coming back at it this week. This is 1 year ago. Yeah. Our guy got tackled. Is this where he got tackled at?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Got tackled. He said he learned his lesson. That was Hadwin, right? Said he's going to put a badge on. So we're back up there in Canada. Let's run through these picks. Go ahead, Z-Rock.
Give me a Rory. He's been playing hot. He hadn't won recently. He hadn't won recently. Been playing hot. Give me some points.
That's all you need right now is the points. Rory McIlroy.
All I need. I'm trying to stretch my lead and finish on top and get a trophy. Whoa. Brady gets a tattoo. Something like that.
I'm going I got a little bit of a sleeper pick for you. He was a round 1 leader last week, and I think he's put some stuff together. This isn't necessarily I think he's going to win. This is I'm going to get some points and catch up with Mitchell this week. I'm going with the Waste Management guy himself, the colored glove on his hand, Charlie Hoffman.
The seagull.
Solid pick. You so dumb. He's going to get me some points this week.
I did some looking around. Took me I don't know. I didn't know who to pick for this week, honestly. And then I was like, well, might as well go with the guy that was like the almost winner last year. He was the runner-up, Sir Tommy Fleetwood. He needs it.
I hope he wins. I feel so bad for him every time he gets close and somebody makes this long 30-foot putt.
Maybe
he needs a PGA win.
Special, maybe something special happened, like another tackle. So maybe we can have another special moment.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody needs to get tackled. We don't need anybody arrested anymore on the PGA Tour this year. But
they dropped.
Maybe Tommy's putting the dagger on somebody this weekend. Yeah,
just getting a win this week. And then Mitch has Sahith coming in and playing. So those are our picks for this week's leading up to RBC Canadian. Next week will be a big. I don't know if it's a signature event. It's the Memorial Tournament. I think that's Jack's tournament. So So it probably is a signature event, but that's next week. We've only got, off the top of my head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, real quick, like 14 or 12 events left in our pick'ems. And so we're trying to get those dialed in. We really don't, have we decided on a punishment yet?
I think so. I was thinking the other day, and y'all may or may not, I don't think the Kirby is a fair tournament to enter. I think you need to enter a real solo tournament.
And have to play in it and get embarrassed.
Yeah, because I want to play in the Kirby as it is.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a fun tournament to kind of have tournament conditions, being in Noonan. But I think the loser has to enter a legitimate tournament.
I need to beat Mitchell.
I was thinking about last week. Brandon said that he was about to do a qualifier for the U.S. Open at White Oak, but he said you have to be at least a 6 handicap, I think.
Yeah, because I looked at the one for Green Island because it was cheaper to play 2 rounds there in a qualifier than it is to play on like the guest rate because it was only like $150. But you could not sandbag, but do the opposite and cheat your handicap down to get on.
That'd be something right there.
You have to be
U.S. Open qualifier,
and they would know quick.
Oh yeah, they'd be able to tell real fast.
But they're not gonna. I don't think they'd kick you out.
Yeah,
I think they'd let you finish the round. It would be awful, but
especially if you paid, they probably would. So anyways, that's our picks for this week. PGA, LPGA. We'll be following along with LPGA a lot this week for everything they've got going on. The boys are getting some stuff dialed with the content. Gonna have some new stuff coming out. Kind of re-going, doing some stuff. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. We're at 933. We're only 67 away from the big 1K. That'd be so huge.
That's coming.
Yeah. So we're trying to get to that. I think that's it for this week's episode. Y'all got anything?
I'm good.
End it with a War Eagle. We hope we come out on top with a national championship.
Oh,
you're so silly. We'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching. See you later.